co-host Gabby, and I will be covering on this week's episode of The Ripple Effect the impact climate change is having on the coral reefs. I'll be specifically addressing what is happening off of the coast of Florida. For the last decade, a process called coral reef bleaching has been occurring near the coast, causing many important ecosystems to be in danger of extinction. The bleaching effect is caused by the rise in the ocean's temperature, leading the coral reefs to bleach or lose their color. This bleaching then leads to the weakening of the reefs over time. With the degradation of the reefs, the organisms that live in and sustain themselves on the reefs either leave or die out. Many of these sea creatures include giant mammals such as whales and sharks, and even some of the smallest organisms like fish and plankton. These creatures are integral to the balance of the ecosystem in the ocean, and without them, the sea would be thrown into chaos. Many of these creatures are food sources for larger species, so if the smaller creatures were to die out or leave these areas, so would the larger creatures. Or, if the larger creatures were gone, there would be an overabundance of smaller organisms, leading to overpopulation and the depletion of resources for other creatures in the sea. Since the coral reefs are weakened through the bleaching, the sea floor is victim to erosion without the protection. The reefs act as barriers to the waves, typically protecting sea life on the ocean floor or the coastline it surrounds. Florida is at risk of erosion of their coastline without the presence of the coral reefs. The erosion of the coastline will lead to many other issues such as destruction of infrastructure. This poses many more issues with the repair costs being very expensive and time-consuming. There's also a greater risk of flooding with the rise of the sea level. Some solutions to consider could be to volunteer at beach cleanups when you can, as keeping the sea less polluted helps immensely when trying to protect sea life. Cutting down on energy usage in any way you can also helps when trying to reduce the amount of greenhouse gases emitted into the atmosphere. However, since this topic is very heavily based on the issue of global warming, it is difficult to pinpoint one exact option that can help reduce the sea level rising and the bleaching of the coral reefs. Despite this, that shouldn't discourage you into not doing what you can to slow down the process of global warming. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Ripple Effect. I am one of your co-hosts, Gabby, and I will talk to you soon.